Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Classic Constructed gameplay on Arsenal Pass. Today we have Levia versus Lexi. So Levia is really interesting. I actually think this was a bit of an underrated and sleeper class in Monarch. Slightly eclipsed by Chain, one of its harder matches, but now the Chain has sort of exited the meta. We can take another look at Levia, and it looks quite nice, especially into things like Ice. Probably what we're not playing against today, but something to keep in mind. Anyway, I just want to talk about a few cards. So we do obviously have the Mandible Claws. This is going to allow us to have these very explosive Blood Rush Bellow turns, and a very key card in the deck. So you do have quite a few options of weapon equipment as Levia. You have the Hexagore, you have the Romping Club, you have the Mandible Claws. So you definitely have a lot of different choices how you want to build and kind of what direction you want to go in terms of archetype. I would say the Claws are definitely kind of more aggressive and more leaning on these big Blood Rush Bellow turns. So anyway, also want to talk about Dread Screamer and Graveling Growl. So Lexi is gonna most of the time be an aggressive matchup. This is actually gonna be kind of a popular concept, I think, as we move into Tails and against Tails heroes. Is like it's gonna be hard to pick their archetype. Almost every hero will have dual archetypes. So Lexi here obviously has Frost and Lightning, or Frost and Lightning together. So we don't really know what we're going to play against, but we're going to side for aggro just to start with, and that's going to be if we look at Dread Screamer and Graveling Growl, those cards are pretty key. Dread Screamer allowing us to get go again and kind of go wide, which is exactly what we're trying to do in Levia. And also Graveling Growl is just our most efficient attack, arguably. So 1 for 7, just extremely, extremely strong. Let's talk about the armor. We do have the Ebenfold. We have the Carrion Husk, of course. Carrion Husk is one of the main reasons to play a Shadow Hero. We're playing Levy over Reinhardt. Carrion Husk is definitely one of our biggest pluses there. We've got the Gambler's Gloves. Levy does roll the Scabskins a lot more than Reinhardt. And of course, like I said, the Scabskin leathers. So you'll see how we utilize that throughout the game. It's not that you're rolling it every turn or you're rolling it to try to get lucky. It's more just fundamental in how you go wide. And Levia can deal with maybe the RNG on Scabskin a lot better than Reinhardt, in my opinion. But anyway, Hayden, let's toss over to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well, this Levia list that we've had since the sort of testing season for Road to Nationals was a list that I was very high on. I really wanted to get to play at Road to Nationals. Really sad that I didn't. The list hasn't really changed too much. I think it still plays, like to Brendan's point, really well, probably into the meta that we're expecting to come into. The deck has like this two kind of multifaceted approach, right? Like the sideboard plan that Brendan's playing into this matchup, I think is probably just the core. So there's like a really core aggressive plan, like proactive plan. And then you can also side with a bit of like that toolbox kind of element because of Shadow, Blasphemous and cards like that, right? So it's really nice, I think, that you have a proactive plan into a meta. Like you say, Brendan, you don't know if you're going to face against Ice or Lightning or Earth or Ice, proactive versus defensive. So if you can be proactive and you can attack a meta, I think that's going to be good going to this new format. Speaking of new format, we've got Lexi right here. So first kind of time looking at a new hero. Literally just built this up yesterday once my product arrived and put this together. So we're looking at a Lightning Lexi here. I think this is probably going to be sort of the default that people go to initially as a Lightning Lexi. It's probably a bit easier to build. It is more proactive if we talk about proactive plans as opposed to potentially what Ice looks like or a hybrid version looks like. Just in terms of, I guess, like some of the key kind of game plans and cards for us here. So, like a card like Snapshot is really important to this deck. That's going to allow us to use Voltaire multiple times, which is going to be huge for us and how we get through these kind of like 2, 3, 4 even attacks on a turn. Frazzle's another great arrow. So we've just got some just really solid arrows, 1 cost and 0 cost arrows. Some of them with these fuse effects that are going to help us out. And then, of course, we have our element cards that can help us fuse, our lightning cards in the form of, like Electrify, is one of the main ones here. So it's a card we're really looking to. It's great to fuse, then put into Arsenal, and then play on the next turn. Flip up with Lexi, give an attack, go again, draw a card, all these sort of things. So, and then we have 3 of a kind, which really shines in Lexi, I think. So a lot more so than it ever did in Azalea. This card can be huge. We get to use our bow minimum twice in a turn. So we're going to guarantee that we can play multiple attacks on a turn after using a 3 of a kind. And we do have a one of Tome of Fiendal to try and get that super spicy combo potentially there in the game. So yeah, that's who we're set at. Should we get into it, Brennan? Would you like odd or even?
I'll take even.
It's odd. I'll choose to go first. I think we want to just try and get set up. Maybe didn't talk about New Horizon, which is actually massive, right? That's one of the biggest things that comes out of Tales of Aria is the new headpiece for Ranger if you're playing Azalea, or if, of course, in this case, playing Lexi, we get the new Horizons. So we do get to set up 6-card hands in this match, which is going to be really important for us. Otherwise, we are playing the bullseye braces, not playing the shock charmers into this matchup. Shock Charmers, I think, actually, interestingly, works better in ice decks where you're trying to go a bit taller and you want to use that ability just to give them the on-hit effects of like the extra, the Frostbite token or the discard, guarantee those effects. Whereas here, we just want to go wide and just want extra ways to fuel those attacks. So, yeah, so sitting. All right, Brendan, we're good to go.
Sweet. I have a question. Are you playing Poison the Tips?
I'm not playing Poison the Tips. I'm going to have to work on a build that includes Poison the Tips. I think this is a pretty rudimentary sort of like early build that I've got going on here, and I'm sure we can tweak it and come up with something else.
I'm super excited for that card. Also, 3 of a kind. Like, I'd love to see that in the deck. The only 3 of a kind decks I've played with prior to the one that sitting across from me was sort of an OTK version, so not really utilizing the card. I don't know, probably the way it was meant to be kind of played.
Maybe. I mean, this is I think it's pretty exciting. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. So one of the things like playing into Levia that I'm kind of considering on turn 1 is we don't really want Brendan to be able to fill up his graveyard. I don't want to be attacking in and letting him get cards straight away into the graveyard, which is going to start basically his fuel. Like that graveyard is a resource for him. So basically what I want to do here is just get a 6-card hand going and then see what I need to do on Brendan's turn if I have to defend anything else. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pitch a red Frazzle to Voltaire to give +1 and put this Frazzle into my arsenal. And since I have, a face-up card in the arsenal, we do have an additional arsenal slot now. So I'm just going to pass the turn to you, Brendan.
Okay.
We'll set this card here. Oops.
Interesting.
Or just shuffle. I just flipped the card accidentally, sorry. Just give it a quick shuffle.
All right, so I'm just thinking through here in classic fashion.
I need one of those mats with the double arsenal slot. I need that Lexi mat.
Yeah, no kidding. I figure out it's better to set up this Art of War or play it now. Yeah, just like my inner chain player just like slammed the Art of War, but I think I'm only going +1 on it if I do, because then if I don't go +1, I do have to kind of hit pretty well. No. All right. Yeah, I think we'll go Art of War +1, banish draw 2, banish the Dread Screamer.
Yep. Levia triggers.
Here. Yep. Unfortunately, we kind of whiffed on this one. Definitely. So, interesting in that case. I'm just going to play the Dreadwood Rumbler and pitch the Wrecker Romp. I'll draw and discard a card.
Yep.
Just go like left or right.
You're left.
Okay. It's going to be a Dreadwood Rumbler. So 6 or more, discard, banish a card from a graveyard.
Yeah, I have no cards currently, so it's going to be your...
Fortunately, it's on option.
So you actually, your Art of War is in graveyard, so you can banish the Art of War.
Okay, I'm definitely banishing the Art
of
War.
Which is definitely better. Yeah, because you've already triggered Levia this turn, and okay.
Just coming in for 7.
Yeah. So it just comes down to what I want to do next turn. Unfortunately, I haven't drawn all arrows in my hand, so I don't have a good fuse enabler. But we do still have, we have our Arsenal card, which is an element card, which is nice. We're going to be able to attack at least 3 times if we want to. But they won't have fuse, so it'll just be straight damage, which isn't not terrible. Then we could set a card in Arsenal. Be alright.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's like if I had just gone to set up the Art of War in retrospect, all I could have done that turn was swing the claw for 3. So that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Just didn't have a graveyard. And then I guess I could have pitched the Art of War to Dreaded Rumbler, but I don't think that's very good. The card I do end up with in my arsenal here is pretty reasonable, though. Not super happy about starting my blood debt counter quite yet, but just a Dread Screamer shouldn't bother us too much.
I think in this matchup, like an aggressive matchup versus an aggro matchup, it's not the end of the world, right? Like starting early. It's against control. You need to be a bit careful. We're just going to take this here, so I'll take 7 to 33.
Cool. So I'll trigger Levia, I'll pass, and no arsenal.
Yep.
It'll be your turn.
Got Tunic. I'm going to start by using Lexi's ability, flipping up this red lightning press from Arsenal. So my next attack's going to go again this turn. And then we're going to do... Yeah, I think we're just going to... Yeah, we'll pitch this yellow snapshot so we can come in with Frazzle for 5, but no fuse, unfortunately. So 5 with go again.
Well, 5 with go again. I'm going to go ahead and no fuse.
No fuse, unfortunately.
Block for 3. Take 2.
Yep. That is 38.
Sure.
I will Voltaire for go again.
Yep.
And we will come in with this red snapshot. So put this into Arsenal and then come in for 4 with go again.
Okay, we'll go ahead and block for 3. Take 1.
Taking 1, 37. And then use Voltaire for a second time. We'll give +1 this time, and then we'll come in with Dazzling Crescendo for 5.
We'll go ahead and block for 6. So we did draw an all red hand, so we're going to opt to just kind of fill up our graveyard here.
Fill the graveyard up, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it's okay for us. I mean, I had no fuses, so I didn't have the biggest turn anyway.
I'll pass my turn and take 1 damage.
Yeah, take the 1 blood there. So 36 plays 33.
36 plays 33. Yep.
Yep. We'll take up Tunic. All right, let's see what we're working with. Oof. Lightning card. These lightning cards are hiding from us, which is, like that's one of the deck constraints and one of the play constraints of these elemental heroes, right? Is especially ones that are built, not entirely. Like our arrows are just good attacks, but obviously if they're fused, they're so much better. So, in that case, I think what we'll do. Yeah.
Goodness. What turn is so spicy? It's funny because I think this is the first time both Hayden and I have been on constructed decks that we're very unfamiliar with.
Yeah, I know. Usually we know the decks back to front that we're playing. I'll Voltaire for +1. Putting some face-off cards, we have an extra Arsenal slot. We'll put Bolt and Shot in there, and we will come in for 4. So it's yellow Bolt and Shot with +1, but it has go again thanks to the ability. And if it hits, I get to reload.
I'll take 4.
Okay, so 32. Just think about the reload.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Do have 1 resource left, so we're probably gonna.
Whew, my turn is spicy.
I don't want to leave this card in here forever because of Command and Conquer. Like Brennan could have a. You blocked with 1 Command and Conquer, right?
Yeah, I did. That Command and Conquer is ridiculous.
It's gotten so much better in the set as well.
Yeah, it's like if Command and Conquer hits a hero, destroy all cards in their arsenal. So if I had something like an Unworldly Bellow plus CNC, like crazy. Dude, Command and Conquer in Rhinar specifically could be very, very good.
Yeah.
Anything where if you can put evasion on the CNC, it's a bit harder in Rhinar, but But if you are able to somehow get evasion or get go again and make them block and then blow them out with the CNC, whew, seems quite good. Or CNC pummel is probably going to be pretty marquee of the set, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going back to those days.
I think we're just gonna
go ahead.
Rather keep the card. I think. Yeah,
Aggro Ninja with CNC pummel.
We'll just reload, and then I'll come in with yellow frazzle for 4.
Sure, I'll take the 4. No
just
block.
Thinking, I think we might. I don't want to get absolutely wrecked by a CNC, especially if there's an Art of War in the mix somewhere, which could pump it to 7. So we will just lightning press this. So taking it to 7, red lightning press.
Yep, 25 plays 33.
Yep, and then we'll set Arsenal and pass.
Sure. My turn is going to start out with Art of War +1.
There we go.
Yeah, banish a deep-rooted evil. My chain days are never behind me here. So draw 2.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's what I needed, baby. Let's go. Woo! It's good stuff.
So we got +1 or go again, sorry?
It's +1.
Okay.
But I've got follow-up, you know?
Is it rolling some dice?
No, actually. It would be funny if it was, but it is not, which is crazy to me.
Actually, just checking. So, I'm just currently checking a piece of.
I'm gonna play the Unworldly Bellow here.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yep.
We'll just go off the top.
Yep.
Hit.
Right.
Is that Art of War? Was that technically in the graveyard when I shuffled there?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, let's just do it again. Yep. Play it first.
This is the Levia habits that you need to.
Yeah, sorry, I was just checking. I wanted to check a piece of Oracle text on a card, which might come up. Yeah, make sure we're closing the chain each time.
Yeah.
Yep, so Levia triggers.
Sweet. I'm going through my upkeep there. Yeah, kind of keeping all my stuff organized. Yeah. So we are currently at 0 resources. And then we're going to go ahead and play the Dread Screamer. Pitch the Unworldly Bellow.
Yep. I thought that might be coming. So it's going to be coming for 11 with Go Again, which is huge, and you have 1 resource left?
Yeah, 1 resource and then a Deep-Rooted Evil and the
yeah, that could be. Which is of course on.
Gravel and Growl.
Sorry, the Unworldly should be in there as well.
Yeah. Old habits die hard. I noticed it runs at
Yeah, you're used to keeping all your seeds in play to show what's happening.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, if you're confident with like keeping abreast of your triggers, like one thing you can do is like keep your graveyard cards up higher, or you can just put them in the graveyard as long as you can be across your triggers. Okay.
So that it does have Go Again. It did hit.
Yep. So going for 11.
Yeah. So we have the +4. Yeah, 11. Let's Go Again.
That's pretty good. I think what we're gonna do is
in Monarch. Believe it or not, I know there's a lot of people that believe that Levia was just dog water, unplayable. Levia was one of our main considerations to actually combat Chain. Chain hates Levia. That being said, I don't think you're over 50 in the end. But yeah, Chain hates Levia because doing 20 damage to Chain is just, he doesn't like that.
Yeah. We put this up. Yeah, we're just gonna tank it. So 11 down to 22.
Okay. Down to 22. We'll pitch. Go ahead and play the Deep-Rooted Evil here for 7.
Yeah, a big old 18 damage turn here. I actually have a pretty reasonably aggressive turn. I wish this turn came last turn so we could block out a little bit. Or yeah, if we had the chance. But I think now I finally found an element card. I want to try and push some advantage where possible. Or
we haven't found our Bloodrush Bellows too. So like Art of War is good for us, but it's not as good as Chain, debatably, right?
Yeah.
What we really want to find is our Bloodrush Bellows because those are crazy. That's when you start getting really big with Levia.
How many cards in your graveyard?
It's gonna be 4 after this.
And how many of them have 6 attack?
All of them.
Okay, alright. That is okay. So graveyard is looking in good position.
Yeah, in terms of graveyard management, the Unworldly Bellow was a bit aggressive. I do think that, like, because there's 4 left, I could get away with it.
Yeah, you have so many cards. You're putting a 5th card in here right now. I think you're more than fine.
When I said 4, I was counting the Deep Rooted Evil. So
okay, gotcha. 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and block for 3 with this red Buzzbolt.
So taking 4 down to 18?
Yep.
Cool, and I will pass.
Sounds good. Alright.
My favorite part about Shadow Heroes is this. Now I can potentially pivot.
I'll use Lexi's ability because do you have any cards that can be played from Banish currently? No, right? It was just the Deep Rooted Evil, which is now in the grave.
It's just the Deep Rooted Evil.
Yeah. So we'll flip up Bloodbolt with Lexi's ability. It doesn't give any perk, but just we're doing it so we can get our extra Arsenal slot. And then we're going to go ahead and... No, we're just going to pitch. We're going to pitch Blink to play Light It Up. And I do have this one proxy, which is a Pulse of Volhaven. My Pulse of Volhaven from 4 cases, I did not open one, so I currently have one in the mail. I'm using this cracked bauble with Pulse of Volhaven written on it in Sharpie. So
yeah, can you read this one to me?
Yeah, so Pulse of Volhaven is an instant.
No.
I did bring it up. This is what I was bringing up just in case.
+4, right?
It's so you can play it. It's a lightning instant, lightning ice instant. Sorry, your next lightning or ice or elemental attack this turn gains +4. So.
And what does Light It Up do? Can you read that one to me?
Yeah. So Light It Up, lightning fusion has 4 attack, and if Light It Up was fused, it gains. If this hits a hero, deal 1 damage to them for each equipment they control. And if Light It Up deals damage to a hero equal to or greater than the number of equipment they control, your equipment lose and can't gain activated abilities until the end of your next turn.
So it's coming in for 4. +4 is up to 8.
I can't. So Pulse of Volhaven is the next attack. So I could play Pulse of Volhaven. It wouldn't give +4 to this. But if you take the damage here, it's going to deal you 1 damage for each equipment you control. Yeah. So extra 4.
Interesting. It feels like this is huskable. Obviously, it's not dominating anything, so we could just block with a card from hand.
Yeah, sorry, so this is Voltaire with Go Again. Sorry, I just shortcutted that.
Yep.
So we have 1 resource left. Got a bit excited there.
So if I block for 3 and it hits me for 1, it just does an extra
4.
What does it do? Oh, extra 4.
Yeah, because it's 1 per equipment you control.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. That's pretty spicy. I'm gonna go ahead and Volhaven is not an instant, right?
It is an instant, but it's the next you play, so it's not gonna do anything to light it up.
Lighting press is bad. All that stuff. We're gonna go ahead and block 5.
Yep. And then 1 resource left. We're just gonna come in with Buzzbolt for 5, revealing again the Pulse of Volhaven.
Okay. Coming in for 5, and if it hits, it does what?
It does 1 damage to you.
Deals 1 damage to me.
Yep.
Okay, and you have no cards in hand?
I have 1 card in hand, which is the Pulse of Volhaven.
Okay, so that's going to be arsenaled. And I would take 6 here, taking me down to 19, which I'm pretty comfortable with.
It's really scary that Brennan still has that husk and didn't need to throw it to light it up. Ideally, I'd love to have an unknown card. We could have kept the Buzzbolt to maybe force the husk out of Brennan there in case we had Lightning Press, but that Buzzbolt was just going to be doing nothing for us, so...
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the 6 here. 6 total, it is.
Yep. So take 5 and then 1, so 19. And then, yeah, I'll set this in Arsenal and pass the turn.
Okay. On my turn, we're just going to play a cheeky Hungering Slaughter Beast.
All right. Coming in for 7. You have you can't whiff this basically.
Yeah, it is impossible.
Yeah. Alright, just flip them off the top.
That's a Deep Rooted Evil.
Yep, nice. It's always good to see. Yeah, the toolbox nature and the fact that you have these recurring threats is just so strong in this deck. One of the things that I think really drew us to try and get as much as we could out of it.
Deep Root Evil is exactly what I wanted out of that graveyard.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Sets up arsenal, all that good stuff.
I'm gonna go ahead and probably defend with this. I think. So I'll play this. Yeah. Let's go ahead and block with this Blue Heaven's Claws for 3 and take 4.
Okay.
To 14.
Sounds good. My Levia is triggered, so it's gonna be your turn.
All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pitch this Blue Electrify to play 3 of a kind.
Okay. Can you read me 3 of a kind? Is it?
Draw 3 cards until end of turn. You may only play cards from Arsenal.
And 3 of a kind is an arrow, or
3 of a kind's a ranger action.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can tell
For some reason, I saw the border. Yeah. So it's just draw 3 and then go again. What was that? Interesting. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. I would say the card is good. Okay, so we get to do that. Give go again.
Seems quite good, Bill. Seems quite good. That's weird. Well then.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to flip up the Pulse of Haven with Lexi's ability. So you get a Frostbite, and my next attack gets to go again this turn.
Okay.
And then I will go ahead and I want to play this on this one. Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate because I've drawn some arrows, but none of them are elemental arrows. So I've drawn 3 of my 8 that don't have. Unfortunate, but we'll just have to live with it. Yeah, so I will Voltaire, giving +1, putting this red bolt and shot into my second arsenal slot, and then we'll come in with it for 5 with go again if it hits reload.
If it hits reload, okay. But you have another Voltaire anyway, so you probably would opt to actually maybe not reload here.
But how many times we Voltaire this turn? Yeah, one of the deck building, like there's so many deck building considerations with Lexi, no matter whether you play Lightning, whether you play Ice. Definitely want to play some of the strong arrows from Arcane Rising, but there's definitely a balance you want to play, because obviously you have cards that require you to have elemental attacks.
I'll block for 3 and take 2 here.
Take 2, so go down to 17?
Yep.
Yep. We're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna reload.
Yep. Okay.
Probably. I think I should have, because effectively what I've done is with flipping up the Pulse of Vault Haven, this has double go again, which I wanted to play this Endless Arrow, but I wanted to get the reload effect first in case. Yeah. But actually, so I have a Red Electrify in my hand as well, which I think is a slightly different line that might end up being better, because it just means that Brennan's gonna have to block for some cards this turn, and we have quite a few attacks. So, and we also have the Bullseye Bracer still available, +1 off Voltaire. Definitely get 2 arrows more in. It does have Husk. Yeah, bit of a consideration. We could also draw an elemental arrow, which would help us with this. So we won't get to go again though. I think we're just going to put this in. We'll reload, and then we will attack with the Endless Arrow for 4.
Does that have go again?
It does not currently have go again. So I was trying to bait the block on the Bolton shot to not get the reload, but it's probably better just to play the Endless Arrow out first off Voltaire. Come in for 4 with go again, I think.
So Lightning Press would not hit this, right?
Lightning Press would hit this. Lightning Cruise is
Okay,
just
yeah, 1. It's a cost thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Hayden has kind of told us it was in his hand, so we would be incentivized to just block with Scab Skin here and go down to 13. Sorry, 14. But I think that the discipline play would, and of course, probably the more correct play is to block with Husker.
Yeah, I'll Snapdragon Scales, give go again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will Voltaire for a second time to give plus. Do we go again? Give +1. Yeah, because we're not going to get to Bullseye Braces anyway. If we got the Endless Arrow back, we would have been in a position to Bullseye Braces, but we don't, so we just come with Searing Shot for 5 off the Voltaire for +1.
We'll take the 6 here.
Yep. So down to 11. And then just set Arsenal and pass.
Okay, I think it's that time, finally. To play Scab Skin like this, we actually have to pitch, which is interesting, right? Yeah. Cards and that's an activated ability, right?
What's that, sorry?
We have to pitch for Scab Skin, right?
For the Frostbite? Yep. Anything you do, you have to pitch for.
Yep. So Scab Skin.
Frostbite.
We'll have to consider that.
The discipline play or the big play?
Interesting.
I'm still just thinking about my last turn, Brendan. I think it's like an interesting decision there about trying to like bait out the block with the bolt and shot versus just straight up playing the endless arrows and having potentially a bigger turn.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking through this.
Yeah, all good.
A bit complicated. I really need an action point here. But I just lose on the spot if I whiff.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's not great. I think generally, like if your back's against the wall, right? Like if you had to, if you absolutely had to hit that, like whatever, maybe it's 14 damage you can do with the 2 action points, then maybe you have to go for it. But considering you're like ahead 2 on parity, I think it's pretty risky, right?
It does feel like I kind of have to. I'm not gonna lie.
One of the toughest things I think about playing Levia is like just working out when you should be making these plays. To be honest, like sometimes it's real fine margins. Like this might be a time where it might be okay, but also maybe I get away next turn with my life threshold. I can probably take this whole turn, which might not be good for Brendan.
Yeah, it really feels like we want to. It's not even that likely to hit because we have to hit 4 plus, right?
50-50, right?
Yep, 50-50. I don't like 50-50. Really the action point. Like we don't. We're just coming in for 6, which is very reasonable. You know what? It's a video. We'll roll again. We'll pop the gambler's gloves.
Okay, comes the 1.
Oh, fell off.
This is the climax.
F. Okay.
I'm glad it's not a 1, to be honest. As much as I want to roll over you here.
So am I.
Would like to play a nice, friendly gentleman's game.
All right. Okay, we'll play Shadow Blasphemous.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So draw and discard.
Sure.
Yeah, your left hand. It's fine.
So Beast Within.
All right. So trigger from Beast Within. Is that right? It's the trigger first, and then the
Is it Shadow Blasphemous trigger first?
How does Shadow Blasphemous read?
Draw a card, then discard a random card.
Yeah.
Search your deck for a card with Blood Debt and banish it.
But the Beast Within happens first, right?
Okay, so that's what I was doing.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, is Shadow Blasphemous, is it a full stop between the search, like the effect and then the search?
Are you quizzing me or asking me?
I'm asking you so that we can work it out. I'm not quizzing you.
Yeah, draw a card, then discard a random card. If a card with 6 or more is discarded this way, search your deck for a card with Blood Debt, banish it, then shuffle your deck.
The Beast Within triggers.
So Beast Within trigger, yep. It's going to be a Command and Conquer.
Yep, so you take 1 to 10.
Yep. 6 or more goes to my hand.
Yep.
Since it was banished, that also triggers
Yep, it
Levia,
sure
huh?
does.
Yeah.
Very good
Pretty
hit.
good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Now we search off Shadow.
Yep.
Deck
Thankfully,
for
no
a card
action
with
point.
blood debt. What would you get, Hayden? Because I think I know what I would get here.
I mean, you're probably looking at Howl here, right? Since you already have the, I would imagine.
Because the trigger, right?
Yeah, it's Howl or probably the Ghostly Visit. But I think because you want to make sure that you can guarantee have a big turn next turn, it's probably the Howl. Already triggered.
Okay, so yep, just coming in for 6 here.
Yeah, I think probably taking this and trying to come back with a big hand. Most likely. Let me just work this out. Actually, our hand's really bad.
Oh,
hand is really bad.
I was thinking the hand might be really good. And I was like,
I wish. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Well, maybe I can survive next turn. He's about to do a Blood Rush Bellow though, which would really crush us. I think I need to be able to present lethal next turn.
Yeah, where are they at? Where are those Blood Rush
Where's
Bellows?
this Blood Rush Bellows at? Pitch. I think I just have to hope that there's an arrow on top of my deck when I draw with this Electrify. Otherwise, it's gonna be bad news. And I need it to be an elemental one as well. So
Yeah, I'm a bit stressed at the blocking enough cards to still, obviously I can't take any blood debt damage at this point. Got this Howl, which is nice. I mean, because we have the Howl, it'll be pretty evil. It's pretty nice for us, but definitely scary as we come to the later part of this game at 10 health.
yeah, I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna go to 8. Yeah.
Okay. So you're at 8, and I will move to end Arsenal.
Yeah, Levia's been triggered. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pitch this Weave Lightning. Yeah, I'm gonna flip up Electrify Red with Lexi's ability, so getting Go again on my next attack turn. I'm gonna pitch this Blue Weave Lightning to play the Red Electrify, drawing a card. And so next time an attack action card hits this turn, it's gonna deal 3 damage. Oh, goodness me. I'm just going to leave this over here. Yeah, so I am going to play the Pulse of Volhaven. So my next Lightning, Elemental, Ice attack is going to get +4 this turn. I'm going to play the Ball Lightning now. So we're going to come in for 5 with Go again. And if it hits, we're going to have the Ball Lightning effect. And we're also going to have Electrify as well. That's force you to block.
We'll block for 5.
Yep, I'm on the end of the chain. I'm going to use Voltaire to give +1 to put this yellow bolt in shot.
Yep.
And then we're going to play this for 4, which is going to give it Go again. If it hits reload, plus we're going to get the Electrify hit as well.
Okay. So how much if I took it, how much would I take?
So if you took 4 here, you're going to take an extra, whenever lightning elemental attack action. So that's not going to work for Ball Lightning. Yeah. So it's just going to be an extra 3. So it'll be 7 total because we're not going to get the Ball Lightning effect because it's not all lightning elemental.
How many cards in hand?
I have 2 cards in hand. We have 1 use on Voltaire left.
I think I lose the game.
I've been caught with the no blocks.
Well, I can't block. the CNC, right? Yep. So. Well. Just thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, so fortunately we didn't draw the Elemental Arrow, but we did have this Ball Lightning Blue, which traditionally a resource cast or a card that we confuse with. But in this case, it allows us to finally get this Pulse of Volhaven out and get the full damage off of it, which is pretty critical.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't think I have a line out of this, even if I filter. So we'll take it.
Okay, so it's 7 down to 3.
Yep.
Yeah, so 4 from the attack, and then we're going to trigger this Electrify. I'm going to Voltaire again at the end of this Chain Link Resolution.
Not I'm going
to put a blue headshot into Arsenal, and we're going to play it with Spring Tunic. So give me +1 Voltaire. So coming in for 5 total.
Yep. Fortunately, there is no way I can win. Maybe if it was... Nope. All right. Block for 4. Take 1.
Okay. 2. And then we'll see Arsenal bus.
Yep. Doomsday. And just for fun, because it's over.
Yeah, okay, yes. There's no way, you don't have a card to banish, and then it's going to be Died to Blood Debt, right? So, yep. We'll block 6.
Yep.
Alright, there we go. First match of Classic Constructed with new heroes. First time out for Lexi on the Arsenal Pass YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. Getting the W as well. And a very close game, actually. I'm sure Brendan's going to talk about this in a moment, but that pivotal turn where he did decide to crack the Gambler's Gloves, had he hit that double action, I think that game could have gone a different way. It would have forced us to potentially block before we got to that final turn. We couldn't have just taken the damage. So, you saw some pretty big damage come out. You saw the impact of New Horizon. We played a lot of that game with double Arsenal, which was really cool to do. Apologies to have to stop and read a couple of cards there with the new set and the one proxy I did have in the deck. But I thought overall very interesting. There was one turn I think where I could have got a bit more impact out of the Endless Arrows if I had sequenced it slightly differently. But other than that, pretty happy with how that game went. It was interesting. The cards that ended up sort of being standouts for us, or the cards that we drew, the arrows that we drew, were actually non-elemental arrows. So there's not heaps in this deck. Probably from a deck construction perspective, I might trim back on a couple of those. Because we did see that we almost got that Pulse of Volhaven stuck in our arsenal. In the end, had to play it on a Ball Lightning, which is fine. But that's not really what we want to be doing. And if we'd got to play it out earlier, that probably would have been a lot better for us to push one of our on-hit effects. So that was definitely interesting. But yeah, you saw the impact of what Bolt and Shock can do, allowing you to go wide with that reload effect as well. The ability of Electrify to cycle and present an on-hit effect as well. If you go again, really interesting. Blue headshot's actually one of the blue arrows I like to play. I think it's with Voltaire, it's always going to be an arrow for 5, which is nice. So yeah, I thought overall this build is interesting. It's I guess like sort of a very much a week 1 build, but I think it's something that we will take and tweak with a little bit. Not sure how much Brendan will end up playing Lexi, but of course we'll keep eyes out for other lists as well, and I'm sure we will definitely be playing Lexi on stream or on video again very soon. But anyway, over to you.
What's that? You don't think I'm going to play Lexi?
I think you're definitely going to play Lexi, but we'll see what happens.
What was that? Yeah, so I think we had the Gambler's Gloves, so it was actually just another 6 damage. He technically would have not had a block, but he had to in the context of he would have been a reckless swing range. So yeah, it would have been ideal. Although, it was bad. We could have came back from it. Just the Electrify just kind of wrecked us. But yeah, so on the last turn, we had a blue Doomsday and a red Boneyard Marauder. That's what we drew off the Shadow Blasphemous. Then we have this Howl. So, our best play was to keep 2 cards and Howl plus Boneyard Marauder here for 9, and then that would have been pretty ideal. This Blasphemous obviously couldn't do anything for us. That would have banished a card as well if possible, but it was basically doing nothing for us at that point. This Command and Conquer Fleet Arsenal actually kind of screwed us in the end because it wasn't going to turn off our Levia in any way, and where our stack is that thick. So we definitely die. I do want to note that We are, in fact, playing Blood Rush Bellow, even though some people might not believe
Yeah.
that. Yeah, we didn't see any of them, unfortunately. But the claws is pretty. It's pretty key to the deck. I still think that you can do okay. I mean, you saw that game. That game was totally without the claws, but yeah, setting up a Bellow in Arsenal and getting a big claws turn is pretty pivotal. That's where your 20 plus damage turns come from, and I think this deck is actually. Um, the power level of this deck is actually off the back of its explosive turns and then having, very good kind of average turns throughout the game, which are
Yeah.
6 to 10 damage. But you do need like, at least like, I mean, we did have one 17 damage turn, which is really good. Um, but I think we needed one more to kind of make that game very, very one sided for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a good game. It was very close. The Electrify definitely crushed us. So that was pretty good. Impulsive Volt Haven, the most elusive card text in the world, apparently, did get us there with the Ball Lightning because we would have been able to block the Ball Lightning with the Scap Skins, and then possibly throw cards later. But anyway, yeah, you see Levia. It's actually a very strong deck. Like that game was absolutely close. And even though Hayden said that Lexi is a week one build, you'll see that this Levia deck is pretty powerful into most things in the meta right now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in the Levia, the Levia and the Lexi deck, they will be linked in the description below, or mainly the Lexi deck because that's our week one build. The Levia we might do as like a deck tech later in the future.
We definitely will.
Yeah, we definitely will because we do think it's very strong into this meta, especially an unknown meta, a mid-range meta. You might be dealing with some ice as well. Levia seems to be a very strong pick, a lot of evasion. But anyway, just want to say thank you so much to our patrons so far. We have over 150 right now. It's allowed us to do, take the channel so much further. On our Patreon, we do have, kind of exclusive deck guide. So we put the original deck guide in here, and then on Patreon, you'll have the whole entire printout of sideboard matchups, a write up on deck theory, and a whole spreadsheet on the ratios usually as well. So that's something you're interested. Be sure to check it out. And yeah, we are entering. We are in the limited season, but kind of entering the budding area of the constructed season for this meta. So let us know what you want to see, what you're interested in from the new heroes, or maybe just old heroes that maybe have gotten better, and we'll see if we can get it on camera.
Yeah,
But anyway,
definitely.
Hayden, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I'm excited to play some more limited on camera. I'm also excited to play some constructed. We've got a couple of sort of like, although these are week one lists, like this does have a lot of theory into it and some games behind it. So same with a few other lists we have that are a little bit spicy. So I think we're going to try and get. I'm really keen to get Viscerai on camera the next couple of weeks, which I think is what we're going to try and do. But we'll also have some sealed games coming up. So yeah, check those out. And thanks everyone for watching.
See you next time.